What's keeping you up at night? Workforce has become the #1 issue for communities across America. Workforce capacity has moved from page 20 of economic development packages to page 1. The old adage, location, 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 means absolutely nothing for communities that cannot produce a workforce. For executive leadership in companies and education and chambers of commerce and economic development, the question is, how do we grow, how do we retain, and how do we recruit a world-class workforce? Science and technology has run away with our youth and left the rest of us in the dark ages. According to the National Council on Competitiveness, technical jobs that require technical training, are growing at 5 times the rate of other occupations. For baby boomers, the question is, do we change? For echo boomers or millennials, the question is, why do I care and how is this relevant to me? And for Generation Xers, the question is, can we bridge the gap? For communities, how do we compete in a globalized world where everything is increasingly linked together? Geographies, industries, technologies, labor, all moving at light speed. If the world is flat, where do we fit in? How do we align education and workforce needs, given that 25% of high school students don't graduate and 90% of the fastest growing jobs in America require some post-secondary education? Some communities are focused on STEM, or science, technology, engineering, and math programs, where the key need is to produce a culture of innovation, a community that embraces change, that is adaptive, and that acts in the future today.
I came up with some ideas that I'm going to take back to my administration to consider. So he really stimulated a lot of new ideas in my mind that hopefully maybe we'll be able to implement in the near future.
I was really excited about today's program because it put all the pieces together, not only for myself, but for my instructors.
I thought it was great. Jim is a fantastic speaker, and the information is so timely for California.
Jim's a fantastic speaker. He had some great information to share with all of us, and I hope that he's able to share it with a broader audience that includes academic teachers, includes parents, and most importantly, it also includes students.
How can I help you? Well, I've designed speeches and workshops and delivered them across the nation for 3 different target audiences. First, in working with communities, I work on moving community stakeholders from why they need to change to how they need to change. In working with teachers in K-12, community and technical colleges, and universities, we work on engagement strategies and learning strategies for millennials or echo boomers. And finally, with students, we connect the dots between the relevance of academic content and rigor and technology, which students are really interested in.
Who is Jim Brazell? Jim Brazell is a professional orator, researcher, and consultant. He has worked for think tanks on issues related to international technology transfer and commercialization. He has worked for community and technical colleges to study emerging technologies and make program recommendations. He has supported and created K-12 STEM programs to integrate the arts and build the workforce of the future today. Jim's recent publications and work include publishing several technology briefs and reports for the Texas State Technical College system, including mechatronics, video games, machine-to-machine computing. Jim is an emerging speaker with tremendous accolades from audiences, which include the National Council on Workforce Education, the National Coalition of Advanced Technology Centers, the National School Board Association, the National Education Computing Conference, the World Congress on Information Technology, South by Southwest, Chautauqua Institute, and many more. If your community or association is dealing with the issues of globalization and you want to know how to move from the why to the how, you need today's speaker. You need Jim Brazell.
I would recommend the presentation to educators at the high school level, obviously, and I would also say boards of education and educational leaders all need to see this.
This kind of talk would be very successful at our college because we have all the silos that he talked about in terms of the career technical education, the awareness of it, and the academic versus the CTE.
I think Jim needs to speak to all the educators and all the educational leadership in the state of California for sure. They've got to hear this message.
Oh, I definitely would recommend it to anyone that is interested in career technical education.
I don't know, I always think more is better.